Man, I don't know what it is, but these last couple of shifts I've had have just made me sort of go through the motions. Like when I clock in, I think after the first hour, I'm thinking about what I'm going to do when I get back and how many more hours left and just, just bored. Um, so I've got about another week or two until I hit the anniversary of when I started working there. And that's going to be somewhere at the beginning of November when that happens. Whenever I get the next, or excuse me, whenever my next regularly scheduled stream is during November, I'll do I guess, big retrospective, if you will. But I was thinking about how around this same time last year, I was actually employed by two places, one of which I had a relative who assisted me with getting the position that I had there, not here, but the other place. And Um, one of my favorite things about working two jobs is the scheduling conflicts, right? So even though one place is aware of the fact that you work for the other one too, they don't care and they schedule you at the same time as the other. They basically try like force you to have to pick between one or the other. This damn alarm, but they basically force you to have to pick between one or the other, and it creates a issue where you just choose. And I said, am I going to work for the one that's further away but gives me more hours on aggregate, or the one that is much closer to me but only will give me like 10 hours a week? And this relative became very upset. You never wanted the job. You never said thanks. All this stuff. But I was thinking about the fact that I mentioned last year getting charged 300 a month just to live with someone, and how they were, unrelenting in having like whether you had a job or didn't, they had their hand out like this. It's them every month. And I always try to explain to people that you need to look at things within the context of the circumstance. So at the time, that job was paying me about 16 an hour. And if you're getting about 4 or 5 hours, usually four, it's about 60 something dollars altogether. Now, if I go to the market, and it could be the smallest little itty bitty amount of stuff, it could be things that I think will fill me up through the week. If I get a mixture of both food to eat throughout the week, because remember, this same relative would not help me with getting food. That was like just the worst thing in the world to them. But if you were to go to the market and pick up some food, you could pick up $4 worth of sausages, get like 5 or 6 of those, right? That's like $20 altogether. If you were to go and get, because only thing this person, oh, I shouldn't even say that, they tried to get me to get water, but if you were to, let's say, go and try to get some soda, the containers of it are about anywhere from $8 to $12 for one of those, not $12, but $8 to $10 for one of those like 12 packs. And sometimes they have deals where you can get like three for 24. So even if you're just getting a little bit of stuff, right? Some sodas and some food that in its entirety you presume will fill you up throughout the week, you're still spending anywhere from 40 to 50 or $60, which means by the time you walk out of that market after getting your little itty bitty amount of stuff, you have no money left. You literally worked for nothing. You went to work, you made 60 something dollars from some crappy, lousy, lame, nobody can live off half shift. And because you have garbage relatives that won't help you with basic utilities, you have no money. You see how that works? So it really shouldn't be any big twist or surprise as to why I would pick the job that was giving me more hours over the one that was giving fewer hours. And I think about what I was called. You're a fool driving all the way over there, wasting all that gas. Right? All this rhetoric that gets thrown around. But That same person complaining about the amount of gas it takes to get over there had no problem trying to get me to run some errand that took a whole damn gallon of gas to go to and from the errand, right? 15 miles to, 15 miles back. It's interesting, when you're doing something that benefits them, then suddenly it doesn't matter how much gas it costs to run their errand. And I when I did the what could have been video, I was talking about how people should be assisting of those they claim to care about, how people should actually mean the things that they say, right? Not just state something and then completely be incapable of demonstrating that that's actually a thing that they support or believe. And I said, I'd like to imagine that if I really wanted someone to work a specific job, right? It was like, oh man, I want you to work at this place, not the other place that hired you. And I'm aware of the fact that the job that is further away is giving more hours, so it's like incentivizing that person to want to drive all the way over there. And I don't think that's something they should have to do. I would like to believe that I would tell this person, listen, I know they're only giving you this many hours this week, so I'm only going to ask for this amount, or I'm not going to charge you this month. Something that kind of like meets them halfway that says, I acknowledge that you're not really being paid by this place for the work that you're doing. So at the same time, I also don't want you to work at this other place that's paying you more. So I will suspend for this month, or until this place gives you more hours. My annual draining of you, my leeching of you. But that never occurs to them. I said, whether you have a job or not, it was like this for a whole year. Whether you work somewhere or you don't, you can expect two things. This person sticking their hand out for hundreds of dollars every 30 days, and sometimes in even shorter frequencies than that. And this person doing nothing to assist you with basic utilities. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be something like food. It could be something like gas. It could be a tire that goes out. They will not assist with a single damn thing, but they want your respect. They want your admiration. They want you to do what they tell you to do. And if you have no money to be able to get these things, then I guess just have to roll over and die. Just sorry bastards, man. Just really sorry. Yeah, imagine if that same person that was so adamant about me working at that place that wasn't giving me any damn hours was like, "Hey, I know they're not giving you that much, so you don't have to pay me this month." That would have immeasurably made working at that other place more appealing. But they didn't do that. And with them, it just seems like they're constantly done in by their own greed. Like, you know somebody's paying hundreds of dollars to the bank every month, and then you're still sticking your hand out for money, and then that causes them to just be like, all right, forget it. I can't take this anymore. It's too draining. Uh and then you try to talk I mean, God, when you read some of the stuff these people write, you know that you're dealing with some, what's a good term for it? I think the term is mental gymnastics, where when a person doesn't want to acknowledge that they've done something wrong, they try to like cloak it in, oh, I didn't do this, this other thing happens. Like, they sent me a message saying, I didn't kick you out, you left. And I was like, if I did not have the money to keep paying your damn ransom to stay over there with you, you were going to kick me out. So I just preemptively left before, you put your hand up like this. I didn't kick you out, you left. Person who I would kick out if they didn't pay me my ransom. Man, those mental gymnastics. And the sad part is that, between them and the other one, the I don't know you person, it's really unfortunate because you're seeing in real time how their minds work. Like this person convinces themselves that they don't have to assist you with anything, but that they also have the right to charge you all this goddamn money just to stay at the same place as them, whether you're employed or unemployed. And at the same time as they're draining you of hundreds of dollars every month, you can't get any assistance with basic utilities. Hey, you need some food, you're hungry? Oh well. Oh man, you got to drive to your job this whole week and it's like $30 to fill up your car. Oh well. That's why I was so grossed out with that stupid molecule splitter guy because it's just like, all this pull yourself up by your bootstraps crap, right? Really disgusts me because many of the people that say that stuff are not examples of it. Like they're not doing anything that could remotely be considered, actually self-sustaining or self-made, right? So like you have this guy who, for all we know, is sitting in mommy and daddy's house, and he's going to tell you, "Oh yeah, no, nobody owes you gas money." It's like, dude, just go away. He's another example of the triangle scam. Like what I said in that video, it was just like, these guys, they come online and they write stuff as if they care about somebody else, like they care about the person they're writing the comment to. But then you see, right, just in the way that they act or whatever they're typing, the mental decay, just the lack of consistency. I remember that one guy talking about, I've been a long time sub. And it's like, dude, no one's ever seen you before. Go away. Oh man. I was thinking about that manager at my job that had like the the owner or the head guy or whatever who had the beef with me over the discounts. And I had I went and looked at his LinkedIn profile and I saw where he went to like this one of the UCs. And I was thinking, it's so interesting how, because I was talking to one of my relatives, and he made the comment that, oh, he probably is like angry that he has this degree, and the best he could do is like running this place or whatever, right? So like he's passively aggressively taking his anger out on the employees there. But I guess what I saw to what I saw to draw from that, brother, was that it's so interesting how people, they get these pieces of paper from these universities, and it's like no matter how much they go to school, how many years they went there, no matter how long they studied, there's never a class or a course that teaches them not to be subhuman. Like there's never a course that says, hey, you know what, if you end up running some business and you call yourself trying to give your employees some kind of benefit, maybe don't try to prevent them from getting food half off. I don't know, man. It's sad to see people have degrees and like they're so angry over $6, but whatever. That pipeline's real interesting. They get these pieces of paper in it, and none of them ever are teaching someone of how to not be a piece of crap, of how to treat others with some semblance of humanity or decency. It's just interesting to me. Oh man. I don't know. I've just been really for like the last several years disenfranchised with a lot of these restaurants, and whether it's the prices, the practices, I've been sick of all of it collectively for a while. Like I was really grossed out by the fact that like you go to McDonald's and again, like you go in there, it's a hot day, you're thirsty, right? You've been sitting out here in this burning, blazing sun, and they have the nerve to not allow you to get a damn free soda. And sometimes they do this when they're next to restaurants that let you get a free soda. You go to the market and you pay $100 in groceries, $60 in groceries, $40 in groceries, and they have the nerve to charge you for a bag. Um, I made the point of saying that if I went there and I bought like $2 of something, $3, maybe I would be a little bit more sympathetic. But it's like if somebody is pissing out half $100 or higher, what do you lose? Like, what profit are you failing to make by just giving them a bag or 2 bags for free? I don't understand. Just weird, man. Just very bizarre. But I already said before, I live in a world where everything's upside down, so never not too surprised. Man. I'm really thinking of doing a why long distance relationships are dumb video. Just that's under heavy consideration. And that's mostly because I want a section in some video that's like this whole myth that I am so unable to get a woman, right? Because I want a section where you take all the comments that are like, if you could get one of them if you did all that just garbage, right? Just stick it together and say, listen, I have not asked out a woman in 3 years, and barring them showing something that actually is different from how they used to act, that's not going to change. But also, and then I would show the screenshots of the ones from Piscord, and then I would mention like, hey, if I really wanted to just be with a woman, I could, uh, but the act of being with one of them is not enough to justify all the hoops you would have to jump through, and it's just not appealing anymore. But no, that is something, and I realized a while ago that people have this thing they do where they create a belief about someone, and regardless of what new information comes out, they just run with it. You are lazy person that doesn't have a job, and then after the person gets a job, you are lazy. Mm. They couldn't tell the truth if you paid them. You are lazy person that works. They got off so much on me being just unemployed. Like it was it's been a real kick to them that for the past year they have been able to say that. Oh man. No, it's really comedic how the same lines still get thrown around even if they don't work anymore. They're just artifacts. You know, that girl in the that did the whole like stale point disinterest thing. It's like this is someone who was sitting in these hours long calls with me that I do have proof that she said she liked me romantically and I rebuffed her advances. And I didn't make fun of her, go has. No, I told her these specific reasons why I wasn't comfortable nor seeking of being with her. And it's just funny that things like that happen, right? And then you had the other one who was like, if I heard your voice more, I would want more. I still have that screenshot. All this stuff happens. All they say all these types of things, and people still want to convince themselves that you cannot get a woman. You are not good enough. It's like I don't want to be with one of them anymore. It's not enough. Like I said, and I'll say this in the video if I end up making it. Uh Maybe 3 years ago, 7 years ago, right? I would have been open to this thing of hey, let's date from multiple countries away. But as I said before, they're a day late and a dollar short. Most of these chicks have no intention of actually going to visit the guys that they talk all this crap with on a computer. A lot of them, for all you know, are probably just. I mean, it's just stupid, man. I already said before, like you live in a world where people you walk down the street, you see couples holding hands and just basic physical stuff. And by dating someone from another region, these LDRs as they're called, you deny yourself of that. And so many times people invest time and effort into these LDRs just for it to go nowhere. You are unable to get with women. You are rejected. I'm like, dude, I haven't been turned down by a woman in years. I haven't because I haven't made any advances on them. I mean, I don't say that to brag. It's just the truth. I don't make any. I'm done. Like they're history in terms of me seeking them out. It's really crazy to think about. Out of all the chicks at my job that I've like said, "Hey, can I message you?" or "Hey, can I send you text message?" I've actually never, and it's been about maybe four of them. It's not that many. It's like four or five. I have yet to have one who directly is like, "No, don't send me anything," which I thought was funny. I'm so rejected. Very rejected. I should make that a visual gag, like to for my interest in chicks, just like it just drops, so that like goes to the bottom. I was on Discord I think like a week or two ago, and I've seen multiple chicks in the that same stupid server. They go in the VC, all the different accents. And for the life of me, I don't even turn my mic on. I just sit there and listen in, and then I leave. And I usually leave if it starts getting really annoying. Like if they start saying dumb stuff or you know just things I think are weird, then I'll just go. Oh, but yeah, beyond that, I just don't have much to do with them. I have my chair. The only thing left is to get a damn table. Really, the only two things I would need to turn the place into something more, hmm, more akin to an environment that I would be content with staying in for some prolonged time is probably just a chair, like that. Well, not the chair, but like a table, and then maybe, hmm, what else? Yeah, the refrigerator. Those are the only two things I would need. Table, fridge, we're good. Like I have a little small one I put drinks in, but I want a bigger one. If I get the fridge, I can then get stuff from the market that I can just warm and heat up, and then I don't have to. Again, that's like that's like another death blow to the fast food places where these prices, man, they're ridiculous. Oh man, let me see. Where's the ugh, damn thing? It's funny how I actually said a long time ago that for me, stuff has to be done a certain way. Like it's not just enough to have something, right? Like if I were to go and declare I am in a relationship and then it's with some woman that I've never seen in person, who the full extent of it is just her talking to me over the computer. It's like that's really what satisfies you. It's just so interesting how like they can really have a man who without question is attracted to women, and by virtue of how dangerous they can be, how much they lie, um, they can just completely disincentivize him from even wanting to talk to them or be attempting of being involved with them either. Like it's really fascinating. So I said before, I see women I think are attractive all the time. Some at my job, some when I go into different places. There's a lady at the market I go to who I think is pretty, but never in a million years would I consider acting on, because like even with like okay, the coworker things, whatever, like just dangerous, but I just think talking to some woman that I think is pretty is just it just with the intention of attempting to court her romantically, it always just seems like a ridiculous waste of energy. But no, one of the central themes of that video is going to be where I talk about the guy that it's funny, he actually called me his favorite coworker like a day or two ago, and I was laughing because I was like, man, come on. But one of the things I would try to convey is that when I was talking to him back in the earlier part of the year, and just I guess having our conversation, he had said something to the effect of, "Oh, you're the only blank I know who will talk about having kids in the initial stages," and tried to say that if you, before you start dating, that or rather are in a relationship with this woman, then you're in the initial state. Just everybody has their own idea of how to classify this thing. It's goofy, but I would hope to convey that someone like that, and this will be parroted by some of these guys online too, will say, oh, why would you ask a woman you're not in a relationship with if she wants to have kids? If it is someone who I meet over the internet who lives far away, which is how most of these chicks are met, I do not see where it is beneficial for me to engage in a weeks or months long correspondence with her if if her long-term desires are not aligned with mine. And by asking her these hypotheticals, um, I'm saving us both time. Like, let's not let's kill this before it even begins. I would hate to sit there and at the end of several weeks or several months of hey, how are you, and all that crap. Oh, you don't want to ever have a family? No, I don't like kids. That would, because it would make everything pointless. Serious, like what? There is no reason to not get these get this stuff out of the way. There's no reason to not like just know in advance. Okay, do you want this? Do you not want this? Like, let's not play that game. Yeah, just thinking about things. I'm hoping I can probably finish Nixon Part 3 by how big is this script? Let me see. I always have the tab just open. Like just have it in a tab that's there and have to like click it and start it up again. Um. Okay. So 55 minus 38 is about what, 17? Yeah. So it's coming along. I haven't been going as hard in the paint as I did with the other one, admittedly. But as things currently stand, it looks like it's gonna be about the same length of part two. It's crazy how when I spend the whenever I have something where I'm just taking a lot of pages, like this third part is adapting. I think it's like page 301 to 507 of Ambrose Volume 1, and it's like, 200 plus pages. I always try to split it into groups of 50 each, so it's like 4 parts when I'm like writing the script for it. And I was like, man, it's crazy how I'll write all the content relating to like the 400, so about half of it, and I'm like, oh, I'm almost done. And then I look at the 300, like, oh, never mind. Just it's one of those things where I'm just gonna have to get one of these. Just take a day, and it's hard to do that because it feels like every day there's a different errand or mission, side quest. But I'm gonna have to just take a day and sit there for about 2 hours, 3 hours, and just type this up. Because I still haven't read through all of part two yet. Not part two, all of volume two rather. I didn't even own volume two when I started when I did part one of the documentary. Hmm. And it's so crazy to think about when a lot of these books came out. In the pre-internet days, it was like, oh man, I got to read about Nixon and see pictures of him, and like now a lot of these photos you can just go on Google and find. It's just one of those things where the novelty of something is like really dated. Yeah. I guess I always had this idea in my mind that when we get to the actual like presidency, I probably would rely on a multitude of sources because sometimes, the biographers writing the book, they're trying, to have a narrative. Like they have to, a lot of the really good ones have to focus on a certain event or whatever. And the actual presidency is always the part that is like the most documented relating to that person usually. So I would look for, I guess, a physical. I'd use the American Presidency Project, like in total with the book, and then whatever is not covered there, I'll throw it in there. But no, I sometimes do think about like, man, if I didn't have to work, I could have part three done by now. Possibly even have been like heavily through part four as well. That is the only part of my situation I regret that right around the time I got the most what's a good way of putting it? Into doing this is like when I had to start working seriously because of just the lack of support from any of these disgraceful relatives. Yeah, my I called somebody. They told me to call them at 9 o'clock yesterday, and yeah, every time you call somebody, they always have an excuse why they can't talk to you. They're, "Oh, I'll call you back after I finish eating," and then an hour passes. So I figured they probably stood me up, and I went to sleep around like 11 something because I was just so tired. Right, get off this shift and this long drive. I look on my phone after it's like one something from finally waking up, and I see where they called me at almost 12 in the morning. I was like, man, that's such BS. Just like the fact that, people schedule stuff with you and then they're not, they don't keep up with it. And then you're supposed to just, I guess, be up throughout the whole rest of the night to talk. It's so lame. So I guess I'll just have to try again today. Can't wait to call them and have them not answer or, oh, I'm busy with this thing or whatever. Everybody's always so busy. There's not enough time in the day for them to do anything. It's the same thing when I had the lady that was what do you call it on Discord that said she hadn't responded to me because she's been busy working, and then lo and behold, I keep seeing her go online and type stuff, and it's like, if I were to be more assertive and be like, hey, look, do you actually like want to talk to me? Probably would get no response. Or maybe something that's like nasty. But if I just say, this is stupid, and just unfriend her, then I'm the bad guy for, I guess, appearing to not be patient. It's like, dude, you've been waiting a whole month for somebody to just write back hi. Like, come on. That's why I said online like I've gotten to a point with these social media sites where I just I just go on them to post something, and then when it comes to like actual correspondence, it's like little to nothing. Like I just accepted there's nothing to gain from typing things to almost anyone on any of these sites. When you see stuff like that, it's even more confirmed. There's a lot of big channels on YouTube. A lot of the big channels on YouTube tend to, again, they post videos, right? They go on Twitter and they tweet something, but most of them are not like talking to people in their comment section or replying to someone that writes about it. Like they just don't. Again, they're there to promote their own stuff, but in terms of the engagement aspect of this, it's next to nothing. Yeah, it's crazy how every year there just seems to be a never-ending stream of people that just act nuts. across all these different websites. But I said the problem is I'm just at a point where my patience for a lot of it is not where it used to be. I mean, I was in this call. Was it last week or maybe a week before? Like in the last few weeks, and um, the thing I don't like about being in calls with people that play video games is that, especially depending on where it is, you can't see what they're doing. So you're basically like listening to an audio, like a radio version of a game, and I just don't find it that interesting, and it kind of gets annoying when they're not really talking. They're just going, oh, this person did this, just making their little noises. And for the purpose of trying to still speak to the person, maybe I'll make a comment like, "Oh, did you get them?" or something to that effect. But I was in this call with, again, like probably two or three other people, and the um the guy that was playing the game makes like says something, and I respond. He's like, I don't need a comment after every other word." And when I hear this, I pause for a second and I think about the fact that, like, again, here's a guy who's sitting in a call with people. He's not actually speaking to anyone, or he's like halfway speaking. Sometimes he'll talk, sometimes he'll just play a stupid game. And then you got this girl who is also in the call, but she's listening to her TV very loud to where you can hear the television. I said, "Man, this is stupid." And I just hung up. I was like, "Okay," and then just hung up. Just got out. Like I said, my patience for a lot of this stuff is just gone. Because I mean, the illusion that it's going to turn into anything fulfilling is dead. Like I was discussing this with Megumi on, I think, a stream from about a week or two ago, but we were talking about, like, back in the day, when social media was like in its infancy, or I guess maybe before a lot of these like bigger sites were really to where they are now. Like YouTube. Like if you went on YouTube back in like 2005, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then somewhere like Twitter, um, there was an idea that people were more friendly, they were less hostile, and that was something I can attest to. That I had run in, like, when I said that, like, during those earlier years on the site, I really believe that 90+% of the problems I had with people on there, if it wasn't me uploading some video and them criticizing me, which is that's always been a thing. I could say it was usually self-inflicted, right? You go in the comment section, you insult somebody, they insult you back, whatever. But, like, just people I was actually trying to be friendly towards, I had nowhere near the amount of falling outs that I tend to have now. Where just, if you message some chick, she's accusing you of wanting to be her boyfriend, or they talk to you for, like, the honeymoon period for a few days or a few weeks, and then they start ignoring you out of nowhere. I mean, it's just, that stuff didn't happen back then. But yeah, the illusion of becoming friends with somebody off of one of these sites and having some real correspondence or whatever, that's all gone. So it's a lot easier to just hear someone say something stupid or hostile right during one of these calls and just jump out. Just be like, all right, forget it. Man, people are just so obnoxious with this stuff, I tell you. just really it's interesting on one hand to see how interactions have decayed, like just how people have in this era of more technology and the ability to call someone and whatever, just how much don't uh, they don't really have the desire to do anything that's helpful. And really, what is the point of social media when it doesn't allow us to actually talk and have dialogues that aren't garbage? This is why I said everything just started seeming kind of pointless. I'm dead serious. I've had people comment on stuff. Um, Not even what's the way of putting it. I've had people they leave a comment on something. It could be like a drawing I did on some site, or maybe like a post right on like Instagram or something. And now I don't even respond. I just they write their thing. If I like it, I just whatever. And if I don't like it, I just roll my eyes and keep it. Like it's amazing how you look at this stuff. Like, I'm not even trying to be funny. Streams are the only time I come online and am directly engaging and having back and forths anymore. Save the same 2 or 3 guys on Piscord that I've known for 4, 5, 6 years, right? That little tiny group, really thin group of like 3, 4 people. I just don't have anything to do with anyone online anymore. Because again, everything is just so toxic and sometimey, and I just get sick of it. Seriously, like besides streaming, the interactions between me and people on these sites has really decreased. I think, like even when I'm in those calls, I don't say anything unless prodded, or if the rare occasion where they're actually talking about something I'm interested in. I think out of the last 7 or 8 calls I've joined in the different servers I was in, I've spoken in maybe one of them. Because there really is this belief that there's just nothing to gain from it. They want to sit there and say all this crazy stuff or get mad at someone for talking about a certain topic, which is always the funniest thing to me. That you'll have these calls where it's just dead air, like no one's talking, and it's 5, 6, 7 people in there. But then when you speak, there's a problem. Like, this is so boring. It's like, okay, well then go somewhere else. Like, I went in the call and they were talking about guitars, and I don't really, I mean, I don't dislike music, but I certainly wouldn't say I'm interested in the composition of it. But I'm not going to go and tell them, shut up, or this is boring, or change topic. It's like, just go somewhere else. I let them sit there and talk about their guitars because nobody else was saying anything. I am absolutely in no way going to bash the few people trying to make a dialogue happen. I hate when I go on Amazon and they have these damn like sales, and they don't tell you, oh yeah, this thing is only going to be available at this price until the end of today. So like you'll be like, okay, I get order tomorrow because sometimes I'll just procrastinate. I just won't immediately order something, and then you go you go back on to the next day and it's full pricing. I'm like, man, so obnoxious. Super duper obnoxious. Yeah, this one guy at my job I liked interacting with, and you want to talk about procrastination? I kept telling him, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna send you a message," and I kept like putting it off, and then I found out yesterday that he stopped working there. And I went and looked at the company app. I was like, man, because even it's another one of those things where they don't even say they're not going to work there anymore. They just vanish. But it is what it is. People are always jumping out of there, flipping and switching and ducking and dodging. I don't even think there's anyone else that I would really be that bothered by not having anything to do with. Because I still further like a running theme is that the people I like the most tend to leave from there. There was one manager I really liked, and there were these two other guys. So I probably would. Yeah, it's really slim pickings in terms of just people there that I still want to talk to and interact with at all. And then the other issue you run into is that once you stop working somewhere, the phenomenon is that the person just will not keep in contact with you. You'll reach out to them time and time again, and it'll just be nothing. It goes back to that long distance relationship tangent I have, where it's like people always have this line about dying alone. It's like I don't think you're gonna die with a person, in the presence of someone that is living in another country or state or whatever, unless she's gonna talk to you as you're passing away over the computer. Yeah, if I took a nap between 11 something to 1 something, that's 2 hours off. So I probably might not go back to sleep until 7 or 8, and then wake up around 12 or 1, then go over to that person's place around that time. Like I said, I sleep in shifts. You get a few hours here, a few hours there. It's been a running theme where you sleep for like 5, 6 hours when you get up in the morning, or I'd rather get up in like the early afternoon and like run your errand, and then you come back and it's around 5, 6, 7, in the afternoon. Then you go back to sleep again and wake up around like 9 o'clock, and then you're up all night until like 4 or 5 in the morning, and you go back to sleep, and just keeps repeating. No, I have this one relative that wanted me to come to their place and help them lift some stuff, and My only aversion was that I wish they had told me a few days in advance because it's a lot easier to schedule this stuff when let's say a week before it happens, however long. Hey, can you do this thing that I need help? It's like, yeah, just give me a few days to notice. Like I don't know. I said before, it feels like every day is just a mission. Like it's if you're not going to work, you're trying to go over to somebody's house or go run some errands or whatever. Just that's why I like Saturday so much because I tend to just do the stream, go to sleep, and then wake up, get something to eat, and then just be at the place for the rest of the day. Just some rest, instead of just drive here, drive there, stand on your feet for 4, 5, 6 hours straight, like just tired. Mm. Everybody wants me to run these errands. Can you pick this up and take this here? Just want a second to breathe, a moment to relax, to catch my breath. Yeah, the only thing I miss about the other place is that it was just easier to have a, I guess, consistent location to stream in terms of like the way the camera was set up. Where I have a box with a pillow on top of it and then some books on top of that to kind of like position it to be. And even then, it's like still not properly set up to where it's like down here is where it goes. Like if I get lower, it's just gonna look even weirder because then the top is cut off. Mm. Oh, but I have been enjoying this chair. That is one thing I will say. There was initial hesitation on my part because I mean, when you live in this lousy era where nobody can do anything, you always have a little reluctance when you want to get something. Ugh. But no, it's been nice to be able to sit down in one consistent location for once. Feels pretty good. Have a thing pressing up against the wall. That's as low as it goes. Mm. Oh, yesterday I had this big stomach ache, and it was so weird because after I woke up, the only thing I ate all day were some chips. Usually I feel hungry, not, like the whole, just messed up thing with the stomach. And it was one of those aches where you feel like you have to run to the bathroom because it's just like really aggressive and you can't quite shake it off. Like I've tried to mask how much pain I was in toward the end of my shift because that's when I first started feeling it around like 7, 8 o'clock. Uh, but man, after I got through with that drive and came back here, I think I sat down for probably like 20 minutes, and then I just couldn't take it anymore. It was driving me nuts. The pain was too great, too captivating. Oh boy. For a second, I forgot where I put my phone. which happens every now and again. I've had so many instances where I'll just misplace my glasses or the phone. Those are the two things that just seem to fly up and down wherever it goes. Where are these people coming from? Oh boy. Yeah, I think I'll give the job maybe. I was gonna say one more week, but we're. Hmm. So the initial approach I'm trying to take is that I'll look for somewhere else to work, but with the emphasis that it has to be part time because I do not want to leave from there and then work somewhere else and then have them fire me after like 3 weeks and then be screwed, one or the other. See, the way this stuff is supposed to work is that when you have a supporting, family, right? That like assist helps you with basic utilities like food, right? You would be able to save enough money from all the hours you've worked at that job over the past year to where if you don't work for a few weeks or a month, it's not like, oh my God, I'm screwed. What am I going to do? That's the way it's supposed to go. Not, oh yeah, every week, you pay out, you get like maybe a few $100s and then you pay 30 something for gas and then 40 or 50 something for food. Just all it's lousy. But yeah, that's the way that's supposed to go. It's just too bad that support systems are so hard to have anymore. I just realized I didn't capitalize. I think I did. Let me see. Sweet. Okay, yeah, I did capitalize it. The Sweet Victory sequel. I thought I put like a lowercase v. I was gonna say it looked really inaccurate. I try to have some consistency with the titles and stuff. Yeah, just it's just sad just watching the way that people are. Whether they're employers or coworkers or because I really it's so interesting. I have all these different coworkers that have been there for weeks or months with me. Um, and in some cases have worked there since I first started working there. And I'll have like these unique dynamics with some of them. And just, I always think it's so sad that no matter how long you work with this person, you're never going to get beyond hi and bye. You can see them several times a week. Um, but you'll never it will never evolve beyond whatever happens when you're clocked in. That's really sad. And I've tried multiple times to have that be the case where, people actually get to know each other and do things together. But it just seems like it's too much to ask for in this day and age. where everything is just so fake. Everything's so counterfeit. Had the relative yesterday going, uh, I've been thinking about you. It's like, go away. Just leave me alone. Yeah, it's just sad that stuff is the way it is. Uh, I mean, you're allowed to say that, but when you see them talking about going each other over each other's house and giving each other rides back to their place, and hey, I sent you a message yesterday. Let's not play this game, man. Come on. I guess in the abstract, you could say that there are ones that want to focus on work, but I mean, I would say that's me as well. It doesn't preclude me from talking to someone outside of there. I mean, I already mentioned the whole like racial component of it too, where it's like it's mostly a bunch of whites and Hispanics, and they know how to show you whose clubs they're in and who's not in the club. So that's another factor. What book? Some coworkers just want to stay to themselves and focus on work instead of forming friendships. Like, I mean, I'm not saying you can't do that. Yeah, people love putting words in my mouth. That is crazy. And it's like when I speak, you just hear something else. But no, I've noticed the gap where they all make references to just the stuff they do outside of that place together. Hey, did you go over his house this weekend? Or oh, did you see that thing? Da, da, da." But if you want to do something with them, it's too much. Or it's all like transactional, like the guy that only wants to hang out when his car isn't working. You got to pick him up from his place and all other stupid stuff. That's why I like my best friend so much because it's like you won't see him go, oh, yeah, let's only hang out when I don't have a car. No, everything's just so fake. Like it's all just a work. Professional wrestling is more real than these people. Just so weird, man. Too many lies. That's always the weirdest thing about my subscribers. They just like they remind me of those damn what's way of putting it? They're like gnats. They just appear out of the clear blue sky after. It's like I haven't watched you in 2 years. I didn't know you still made videos. It's like go away. Just leave me alone. Just the most random people ever. But no, I'm not looking forward to having two jobs again. That's going to be awful. Like just the idea of getting up at 8 or 9 in the morning to go work somewhere until 1 o'clock, and then right after you leave from there, you gotta jump on the freeway to go be at the other place by 3. Oh my god! You won't have enough time to even blow your nose. I just hope whatever the other place is, they're more flexible. It's so funny. A lot of these jobs like never acknowledge the domino effect. We are so angry that we can't find people to only use for 20 something hours a week that are available Monday through Sunday. It's like, well, maybe if you actually gave people 40-hour shifts per week, uh, they wouldn't feel inclined or compelled to look for work somewhere else on top of working for you. Just a thought. It's really interesting. Everybody wants to not pay people enough money to actually live off of any of this crap, but then they also get upset if you try to work somewhere else. It's a nice contradiction. Still laughing at the one interview with that place where it takes 2 3 weeks for them to even agree to an in-person meeting, and then you show up and the manager's not there, and they're going to tell you that you need to call them back to see when the manager's there so you can come in for just the most ghetto, lamest, unsophisticated, stupid stuff you've ever seen. You have to hunt down the manager for them to be there when they knew you were coming. Well, I look like every day. Hey, is the manager there? Hey, is the manager there? These clowns, man. Hey, is the manager there? Hey, is the manager there? Hey, is the manager there? The manager is going to be the star of the next Where's Waldo book with the little red and white striped shirt on. I've been looking for you. I see you. I'm so glad I didn't even like bother with that. It would have been the lamest saga out of any of these. Not as lame as the Mixed Signals Queen saga, but still. Hey, is the manager there? That would be funny to like troll them where you call in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. Is the manager there? Just Monday through Friday on this constant like loop. Yeah, I just couldn't imagine like just doing that. And the fact that they wanted me to do that is like already that was I didn't need any more confirmation. That was a waste of my time. And that's why I get so like this what's the way of putting it disillusioned with seeking out new work because just so much of it is meandering and again their main thing is wasting people's time and money. You go to this interview with this casino place, it's downtown, so they have you parking somewhere where you got paid to park, and then you go and sit and answer their little stupid questions, then they didn't even hire you. So you just lost like, was that 40, 50, 60 minutes of your life, along with what, $7, $8 just to park over there? It's just stupid. So I'm definitely not looking forward to that. I mean, I remember when I started working at this place, I told the story, right? That applying for 30 positions and how it must have been like 2 hours just driving to all these different locations. I had interviews with three different restaurants, and the last one I went to was where that lady told me that they had 100 people applying for positions, and I was like, all right, I shouldn't even bother. Like I said to her face, like I shouldn't even try. I just give up. You want me to believe that out of 100 people, you're gonna pick me? Yeah. They literally turn applying, like trying to get a job at one of these places, into running the damn lottery. Let me see. Is there anything else we want to put in here before we run? Uh, I think that's it. Yeah. Mm. Oh boy. I mean, I admit to procrastinating. Like I put off doing things I don't want to do sometimes. But again, just because I really don't like the process of looking for work. It is so obnoxious, man. A lot of these places will be opposed to doing phone interviews, and they will have you drive all over the goddamn state just to try, on the premise of maybe getting a job. Like, there's nothing they can ask you in person that they couldn't ask over the phone, but they want you to waste your gas. They want you to, waste your time having to physically go up there. It's crazy. I kind of would like to see what day the anniversary of the interview I did was, and then give the manager that hired me a, I don't know, a flower or something. Like, thanks for a year of employment, even if it barely made a difference. I guess something is better than nothing. We're scraping the bottom of the barrel. Oh man, man, they had so many interviews. Like I'm looking at my email right now, and I see different places. Mm, I can't find the one that I did with them though. Um, which is actually kind of crazy. I guess that's fitting. The one that actually hired me, I can't find like the exact date of when I went over there. Do, 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 do. Oh wow, I think I found it now. Okay, Wednesday. Um, I still can't believe it. Yeah, it looks like that's it. October 25th. So yeah, just a few more days and we'll have the anniversary. Coincidentally, I'm working on the next October 25th. Is he there? Okay. Yeah, he doesn't leave before I go. Okay, great. Ugh. I don't know. I like to give people something when they, do a thing that marginally improves your life, because I was not expecting to get hired. I thought it was just going to be another waste of time, and it has been quite a ride. I don't know. I'm just kind of just. I guess I get sentimental sometimes with certain stuff. But like I said, I remember that whole previous year, the 11 months of just not having a job, and it's it's nice that has been ended for a protracted amount of time. Maybe that could start up again. I hope not, but at least that part of the nightmare was quelled a little bit. No, I was having this conversation with this relative, and he mentioned that, oh, part of life is just dealing with bad things, and it's like he can say that, but I've always felt that the older a person gets, the more financially secure they should be. Like I said before, if I was almost 50 and I'm living paycheck to paycheck and I have, you know, multiple kids that I can't take care of or can barely take care of, and I'm worried about not being able to get basic utilities, I'd be looking for the nearest 18th story. Because again, it's like the average life expectancy is somewhere in the mid 70s. So by the time you've reached your mid 30s, you've already lived half of your life. So if you're that age, right, almost 50, and you still are struggling, it's like, what are you waiting for? You're not some young, fresh out of college person, or just like let's ditch the illusion that some magic bank is going to come and save you. Like, let's not play this game. But anyways, I'll be back on Saturday, and hopefully with a little bit more rest. I doubt it though. So thanks for watching and have a good rest of your Tuesday.